His control, quite exemplary, and so too was the cross. Donny Farragher meeting it with the kind of looping header goalkeepers hate. This was Jumbo Brennan, looking anything like a jumbo, razor sharp, and then absolutely selfless to set up Farragher for the simplest of tap-ins. 2 games, 2 goals for the big man. Will spare John Mack the replay. The Pats thrown a lifebelt 5 minutes later when a rush of blood to Lally's head forced him to handle Willie Burke's cross. A yellow card for the Galway defender from referee Brendan Short. And then the quickest penalty on record. Eddie Gormley rushing to tap it in. And rushed to the top of Pat's scoring chart. That is 4th this term.
To the samba rhythm in United Park, Dundalk took the initiative. Keith Long's pass set Joe Hanrahan away, and he had an age to pick his spot. 1-0 to the champions. Drogheda's reply was courtesy of a clumsy challenge by Richie Purdy on Tom Sullivan. Eddie Van Boxtel faced the music, but Trevor Crawley won that particular contest with ease. 4 minutes before the half-time cuppa, man of the match Bobby Brown ran 60 yards to get in the end of Sullivan's pass and then calmly chipped United's second. And then 10 minutes after the restart, Barry O'Connor set up John Ryan. His first touch made the finish look easy, and that 2-goal cushion was just enough, as Mick Byrne's 87th minute consolation only made the final score frustrating for the champions. But a lovely goal it was too. 3-2 the final score. Drogheda get the points. Sligo started the stronger in the battle of the Rovers, but Alan O'Neill was the difference between the sides last night. John Kenny's runs on the right flank always caused problems, and after Derek Tracy and Len Curtis scrambled the ball away, Darren Grogan's shot had O'Neill stretching under pressure from Ian Gilzine. The huge home crowd were stunned when Terry Everston's cross found Mark Reid, who easily beat Brendan Aspinall, and the former Sligo player celebrated with an extra spring in his step. Only his second league goal for the Hoops, both scored away from home, but they were enough to give Shamrock Rovers their first league win of the season. In Brandywell, Sandy Fraser's introduction in the second half gave Derry the edge. Liam Coyle's cross, Tom Mohan's head down, and Fraser did the rest to keep him at the top of Derry's goal charts. That was his 4th league goal, and as ever the celebrations were worth seeing. Great skill by the former Portadown player gave Melvin Capleton no chance in the Cork goal. And he also got an assist for Derry's second. Adrian Crane's cross, headed down by Fraser, and Paul Doolan finished with his customary coolness to keep Derry in touch with the leaders at the top of the National League.
Yes, certainly does that, all right. What interesting action there, lots of good goals. All right, well, we'll have the details of what those games mean in the FAI National League coming up. But first, in tonight's results, we salute a new Drivers' World Champion.
Points, and if we take 6 out of the next 6, I don't think we're going to be too far off. Shelbourne have to go to Derry, and there's lots of other combinations, but at the end of the day all we can do is do our own work, and let what will be, you know. We can't do anything about that.
So Dundalk still very much in the hunt for the title this season. Well, there were 2 games played in the Premier Division last night. Cork City beat Galway United courtesy of a John Caulfield goal, while St Patrick's Athletic kept their hopes of a UEFA Cup spot alive with a comprehensive 3-1 win over Sligo Rovers, whose end of season really is turning.
At 10:30 last night, all of which meant there was a first start for Jonathan Prizeman in the red and black. As you'd expect, it was a full-blooded local derby with plenty of action at both ends of the pitch. If anything, Hoops shaded it, which may not have been altogether surprising, given that they'd won their last 2 after a dreadful start to the season. They had some early moments to survive, but the initial Bows attacks lacked punch. The first goal, when it came, was a tribute to Shamrock Rovers' midfield possession football. A superbly weighted through ball from Owen Mullen almost set Terry Everston free, Did enough to put Kevin Brady under pressure, and he laid it on a plate for Carl Gannon to score his 4th of the season. Mullins was the through ball, and a beauty it was. Evanston, there's life in those old legs yet, forcing Kevin Brady to make the mistake, and Carl Gannon, formerly Home Farm's top scorer, well, he really doesn't miss from there. Just 9 minutes on the clock, and Shamrock Rovers in front. And their sizable following must have felt there was more in the game for them. Evanston with a fine cross, and Henderson having to scramble to get it away and then make the second save from Mark Reed. Good atmosphere, a good night at Dalymount. This was the first corner after 22 minutes. Terry Evanston taking it, but Rovers unable to breach the Bows' defence on a second occasion, though not for the want of trying. Mullen influential in everything they did, then a superb ball struck back out to Evanston on the wing. Lovely Rovers football. Gannon and Evanston combining, and Derek Tracy keeping the movement going. But a well-marshalled defence in which James Call, as ever, was outstanding, shrugging off an injury problem, keeping hoops at bay. But try as they might, there was to be no first-half breakthrough for Bohemians. Tony Cousins sweeping a lovely ball into the middle. Maurice O'Driscoll creating the opening. O'Neill thinking about coming, and then O'Driscoll should really have done better with that. He's the Soccer Writers' Player of the Month for October, but his November form so far, not up to that high level. Tommy Byrne setting away Paul McGee, making his 50th league appearance for Bohemians, but unable to crown it with a goal. Kevin Brady's cross, a diving header from Cousins, superbly saved by Alan O'Neill. Into the second half, and Donald Browan sweeping in the cross that had Shamrock Rovers in trouble, and Tracy happy to concede the corner. And from that, Bows got a richly deserved equaliser. Tommy Byrne floating it to the near post, and Derek Swan with a glancing header, making it 1-1. That coming after 17 minutes of the second half. A third corner in 5 minutes as Bows turned the screw, and Swan getting his 3rd goal in 2 games. Still plenty of incident to come, but no more goals for the sizable crowd. But they would have left Dalymount Park pleased with what they saw. Gannon, outstanding for Shamrock Rovers. Robbie Best very nearly putting it into his own goal. That was one of the features of the night, the duel between Gannon and the veteran Kevin Brady, Bows, former Shamrock Rovers left back. Best scrambling to try and avert the danger, creating some more. The problem solved by James Call.
We played a tough team tonight. We gave away an early goal, but thankfully the lads battled very hard the second half, and I thought we took the game to Rovers, and I thought in the end we deserved something from the match.
That was what we expected, George. Is no different than we expected. I'm sure it was the same for Duyndalk. The form book goes out the window in derbies.
You have had 2 wins and now a draw, so clearly things have turned the corner at Shamrock Rovers.
Yeah, we're playing better. I was particularly pleased in the first half. I thought we controlled the game. I thought our midfield, particularly Derek McGrath and Mullen, they controlled the game in the first half. In the second half, Bows came out. They made 1 or 2 changes, and they grafted an awful lot harder in the second half.
We're delighted to be in the position we're in. We've had problems all along the way, George. If it's not injuries, hamstrings, it's ladies having babies, and from that point of view it disrupted our plans tonight, and hopefully Tony will be the proud father of a baby tonight.
Yes, as wife Elaine reported, Tony is over the moon at the birth of Jordan. 10.5 pounder, as we said in the rotunda. Well done, and all the best to both of you. And I should think there'll be 2 footballers in the O'Connor household to go with Dad. Incidentally, another little statistic from last night to go with the 10.5 pounds is that goal scored by Derek Swan was goal number 150.